Well, good day, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of our PAC Diversity of Thought Summit and Awards Ceremony. My name is Jim Downham, and I am the CEO of PAC. If you joined us yesterday, welcome back. We're glad to have you. Our summit will feature inspirational and tough dialogue on past behavior, shared solutions, and an action plan to push forward and thrive beyond 2021. We are committed to doing more than just talking about it. Yesterday, PAC issued a call to action to our community, and this includes you, to collaborate, innovate, educate, and develop a plan to tackle a more just world. A world that uplifts the voices of everyone and atones for past mistakes. Following our speakers this morning, we will be honoring our PAC Global Award winners from 2021. Check out yesterday's winners and upcoming nominees being honored today on our website. And now, on to day 2. We are grateful to HP Indigo for hosting our second day. We will hear an exciting presentation on how successful brands connect through a pandemic. But first, to kick things off, is Chris Carson, Director of Sales for the General Commercial Printing segment of HP. Over to you, Chris.
Thank you, Jim, and good morning, and welcome everybody to day 2 of the PAC Diversity of Thought Summit. As Jim mentioned, my name is Chris Carson, and I'm the Director of Sales for the Commercial Printing and Label and Packaging business in North America for HP. We manufacture hardware and develop software workflow solutions for all segments of the graphic communications industries that we serve. So I'm honored to be here this morning to help kick the day off and share with you just how important this summit is to HP. Although I wish I was there with you in person. We're going to have to make a video do for today. And as Jim mentioned yesterday in his opening statement, the world's changing fast, and it's critical that all of us, we have to learn how to change and adapt to what's happening in the world in order for us to move forward. And here at HP, it couldn't be truer. And we, along with most of you on the call, have had to do that at much accelerated rate this past year. And along with you, we learned a lot along the way. And Jim also shared with us yesterday the mission of the PAC Global Leadership Awards, quality over quantity, global versus regional, celebrating creativity and innovation in packaging. This mission statement completely aligns with our approach to the packaging market, and it's also why it made so much sense for us to be the key sponsor for this event. During the peak months of COVID last year, we saw our commercial printing business decline double digits, while our label and packaging business grew over 30%. The industry took a major turn because of the virus, and we saw a huge growth via e-commerce shipments in groceries, healthcare, in-home entertainment, just to name a few industries. And the world changing as fast as it was, we also saw an accelerated shift to shorter run, just-in-time packaging printing. So it's been clear that we needed to offer, or we continue to need to offer solutions that provide a high level of quality to our customers, to our customers' customers, to brands, to everybody in the chain, and be adaptable in a world that's changing so rapidly. And often we see quality being sacrificed in lieu of speed. And we are committed at HP to not allowing that to happen. As a matter of fact, quality is the cornerstone of our solutions to the packaging industry. HP continues to think and act globally in how we spend our money in research and development and manufacturing. We focus a lot of our efforts on sustainability, diversity and inclusion, high quality, and we also give the ability for our customers to be endless with their creativity to produce world-class packaging. And I don't want you to just believe what I said, what I've told you today, but just stay engaged in the summit today, and you'll see just how committed we are to the industry through our partnerships with brands such as the Hershey Company, which you'll hear about here in a couple minutes. And you'll also see the investment that we make and have made in our state-of-the-art graphics experience center in Atlanta, Georgia. So without further ado, I'm happy to turn things over to Doris Brown McNally and the team from the Hershey Company to share how they are using the power of diversity to make a valuable connection to the consumer through packaging. So I just want to thank you all again for being a part of the summit today. It's an honor to be able to sponsor this event, and we just hope that you enjoy the remainder of the summit. And I will be eating my mid-morning snack. Over to you, Doris.
Thank you, Chris. Hello, everyone. First slide, please. They're going to be getting, welcome to my little presentation on how successful brands have connected through the pandemic. Next slide, please. My name is Doris Brown McNally, and as Worldwide Brands Innovation Manager, I get to work with some of the most amazing brands in the world. In doing so, I'm also get to become aware of trends, insights, and challenges these brands are facing. And to say the least, it's been pretty busy the last few months. Consumers have been faced with a number of issues during the pandemic, let alone personal experiences. This has just been a very, very difficult time for most of the brands. And hopefully today I'm going to share with you how some of these top leaders have really come through this pandemic and are actually moving their way through to the next stage. Next slide, please. So during this time, we saw some really wonderful people do wonderful things. For example, we saw U-Haul early on in the pandemic. U-Haul in certain areas where children had just gotten up to college opened up their facilities so that kids could put their items back into a U-Haul facility before they had to go home. We saw some amazing things from other companies like Chobani, making their food products available to people who were now stuck at home during the pandemic. And even HP got in play when we started to realize that people wearing the face masks really weren't able to interact with their patients well in the hospital. We came up with a program where photographs were actually put onto the garments of the essential workers, so there was some type of connection between them. Next, please. We also saw agility. We saw companies like Brooks Brothers, we saw Diageo, we saw Anheuser-Busch turn on a dime and take their capabilities in manufacturing and aim it towards things that were needed to serve the pandemic marketplace. So for example, Anheuser-Busch and Diageo worked with alcohol and produced hand sanitizers. You had the clothing companies like Brooks Brothers, even My Pillow, started to use their capabilities in sewing to make the garments and the face masks that were available in the marketplace. And this was all very much seen by the consumer out in the marketplace. Next slide. And then you also saw companies really lean in and use their ingenuity to really solve deep and difficult problems. So for example, you saw companies like HP work on producing 3D parts for ventilators. You saw many, many different companies leaning in on the bigger problems that were going to be faced at the time that we were facing to try to address these type of things. Next slide. So for the consumer, you saw the consumer really losing face with their brands. Next slide. You saw them questioning, they were less optimistic. They didn't know what was going to come next. They became more concerned about what was going to happen. And the next slide. And they were also frustrated because they were less in control of their circumstances. As a consumer, we believe we have a level of power over our relationship with a brand or the people we're purchasing because it's our money that's purchasing a product. And when that was taken away, that was cause a level of frustration between the consumer and the brand. So there was a lot of things for the brands to navigate and recognize as they were going early on through the pandemic. Next slide, please. And then, of course, we saw those brands who were awkward during the first few stages. If you weren't practicing the proper communication style with your consumers, and then all of a sudden you try to become their best friend, it kind of came across a little bit false. And a lot of companies went through this early on and recognized they had not taken advantage of the communication or the contact they had between their customers and themselves. And now we're faced with how do we re-engage with our customers directly. Next slide. And it also became a very important factor that the consumer really wants to trust the brand. And if you do something that really breaks that trust between you and that brand, it's a very difficult thing to gain back. Many customers, I've seen it personally, where I was used to purchasing a product all the time. And the day that I went to the store and it was no longer available to me, my first thing was I wasn't angry at the store. I was angry, how come that manufacturer didn't have that product on shelf for me? I've purchased this product for 30 some odd years. Why isn't that product available? And then the next thing is I tried something different. And even in my own personal life, I've noticed that I've started to purchase new products that I had never tried before because my heritage product or my product that I had been used to buying for so long was no longer available to me. And now getting me to go back and purchase that product again is going to require either me recognizing what's going on or that brand reaching back out to me in a manner that's going to pull me back in and say, we're sorry, we had our problems, we all did. How can we go forward from here? Next slide, please. But there are also brands who really stepped off on the wrong foot. And studies have shown that many brands, the way that they came out and early on with the pandemic, doing heavy marketing, heavy sales, they were shocked. I mean, it's shell shocked for a company to see their sales and their business pretty much stop. Many of them leaned in hard with sales pitches, and what this did was this actually alienated them with the consumers. So many of these brands are still catching up on their initial reaction. And these are not the big brands, these are the middle brands and small brands. Even us, as we sit at the table, we are a brand unto ourselves. So it's really how we reacted to this initial stages of this pandemic that many brands are still dealing with. Next slide. So, and this is the mantra. Every single project I see coming through the marketplace right now is hurry up, stop, wait. We have to make a decision. What's going on in the marketplace? We see something happening here. We're not sure. Do we need to pivot? Who knows? So clearly the term flexibility is very important in the marketplace right now. And as a brand manager or someone working within a brand, you have to be recognized that. In my end of the business where I work, the print service providers who are actually printing the packages for these brands, there's also a level of flexibility there. And one of the advantages of using digital print is that you can do just-in-time manufacturing in short runs. So we're starting to see a lot of brands start to integrate concepts of not going into large production runs, but actually to go into nimble, short production runs to see if their message is on point and if their delivery mechanisms are on point. Next slide. And if you are a brand who's sitting there going, okay, we can just dust off the old plans that we had in the past and bring them out to the future, I'm sorry to say there is no new normal. I actually hate that term. I think that the world is going to change. The world has changed. And I think it's up to people to recognize that and to always be looking at what plan A, plan B, plan C might be given this new pandemic. I mean, would any of us thought that we'd still be in our homes, in our secondary offices, having this kind of communication this long into the pandemic? And I think this is something that, once again, you always have to be looking forward, and you also have to be looking at what's going to be down the pike even further than 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. How are you going to make your organization and your business and even your personal job pandemic proof? And so I think that this has really changed a lot of people's psyches on how they are working in the marketplace today. Next slide. And if you were sitting back thinking that, oh, digital transformation is a few years away from us, we don't need to get into this right now, wake up and smell the coffee. It's clearly coming at you like a wrecking ball. We have been at HP, we have been working with a lot of brands and a lot of manufacturers where we're connecting our capabilities directly onto online so that the flow of production goes right from customer purchase right to production and then right out to the shelf or right directly to the consumer's front doorstep. So digital transformation is all around us. Some companies are struggling because they hadn't leaned into it earlier. Others are really, they've done the right work and they're moving forward very quickly. So once again, working together with your partners, you have to recognize that they might be distracted by some other things that you might not be aware of. They might just be dealing with technology infrastructure issues. Next slide. So here's a market that we take a look at because it's been very interesting. When you take a look at the trends of what online grocery shopping was in 2018, it was relatively low. As a matter of fact, they had forecasted that February of 2020 that by 2022 it was estimated that the online grocery sales would probably grow to about 5%. Well, I'm here to report to you that at the end of 2020, we actually hit 10.2% of a 1 point whatever trillion dollar grocery market. That is huge. That means people were changing their buying practices and no longer relying on the brick and mortar stores around the corner from them, in many cases relying more on online purchases. We started to see a tremendous download of downloadable apps for grocery stores, and we also saw a very significant uptick of companies that are in the grocery segment that started to make available to their customers some kind of app on their mobile phones. So this is a trend that I think will continue to grow, and it is something to watch because you're going to see the distributors take on more responsibilities and diversify in their solutions that they offer to the marketplace. Next slide, please. The two giants out there that we've all been familiar with here in the United States is Amazon. We early on saw that Amazon had purchased Whole Foods. And right now, Amazon's business model is that if you get into their Prime service for $119 a year, I believe it's still that, what you do is you have access to all the general commercial products that they sell online, but also you have access to their food products from Whole Food. Now, Walmart, on the other hand, right at the pandemic, launched a brand new app which gave people the opportunity not only to purchase all the grocery items in the store, but also the standard items. And what they also did was not only gave you the ability to purchase them, but anything over $15 would ship for free. It's a significant difference in business model than Amazon does with that yearly subscription rate. The other thing that you saw is that Walmart gave people options. You could place your order online, physically go into the store and pick up your items, or you could park outside and someone would bring the products to you, or you could have the items shifted and shipped to you. So I think what you're seeing here is that the brands, some of the distribution brands are recognizing that different people have different ways that they want to interact with them, and they're making themselves more flexible in their services, more flexible to meet those needs. So companies like Walmart clearly skyrocketed during the latest quarter of the year relevant to their purchases. But we also saw that with companies like Target and others. Next slide, please. Now, if you've been watching, if you're a part of the PAC group, and I think if you're a new member to PAC or if you're a new person joining PAC, it's a wonderful organization. What I want to do is show you some of the things that we've been working on with PAC for a number of years. First off is what you're seeing here is a product that was done by Procter & Gamble. And, shipping detergent online is a difficult thing. Typically, you have to have multiple overpacks on this to ensure that it doesn't leak. What they did was they went into a development process and they developed this wonderful package, which is a corrugated pack with an inside gusseted area that has the deliverable of the liquid. This is a really smart way of delivering products to the marketplace, and they launched it, and it was actually the PAC winner for innovation in 2020. So those of us in PAC who are a member for a number of years saw this happen and saw that this was a wonderful thing. Next slide, please. Another example of Procter & Gamble's innovation is what they did here with their self-sealing Dawn bottle. They have a number of patents on this, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's a gusseted flex pack, if you want to call that. And when you turn it over and you squeeze it, the actual item comes out, the liquid comes out. And then when you stop squeezing, the liquid stops. So you're eliminating all those caps, those extra plastics. And when you look at the amount of reduction in plastics and in sustainable issues, this was a wonderful, wonderful package to bring to the marketplace, and bravo to them. And they also won a PAC award a few years ago for packaging innovation. So look to the leaders. Many of them are looking at new deliverable mechanisms to be able to solve not only in-store applications, in-store sales, but also online sales. Next slide, please. And then you have companies like Miss Vicky's. For millennials, this is a common staple. You go to your cafeteria at school, either be college or whatever, and you probably had a package of Miss Vicky's sitting on the side of your tray as a side dish. As these millennials have grown and become a little bit older, what Miss Vicky's has done is actually introduce more gourmet flavors to keep in contact with these consumers. So micro brands are very, very important as a trend going forward. So once again, this was another PAC award in 2020 for Best in Class winner for food and beverages. Once again, really aligning the messaging and the product that they offer to the audience that they're looking to serve. Next slide, please. Now, here's where I want to talk about a significant trend that I've been seeing and I think is going to continue for those brands and is very rewarding. This is probably one of the most innovative packaging executions I have seen to date. During one of the this was the Super Bowl games. If you're familiar with statistics, Super Bowl, after the Super Bowl, is one of the highest level of accidents and fatal accidents that happen in automobiles. People are out, they're enjoying themselves, they get in the car, they drive home, and all of a sudden they're in an accident. What Tostitos did was they partnered with Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and they instituted this lovely bag which had a microchip in it that actually, and also a breathalyzer, and they seeded these into specific bars in different areas to send a message to people: please don't drink and drive after the Super Bowl. And if you had one of these bags get delivered to you by the barkeep, what happened is you would breathe on the bag. The bag would censor if you had any alcohol on your breath at certain levels, and the bag front would actually modulate and start to blink and give you a signal saying do not drive. It also had an RFID chip in it that would send you a message for a discounted coupon ride on Uber for your ride home. Once again, showing the tremendous efforts that this company has taken to really look at a market segment and say, we are concerned about this issue, we're supporting initiatives around this, and we want to educate people on how to drink and how not to drink and be responsible on holidays such as Super Bowl night. Next slide, please. So these are all cause marketing. These are philanthropic marketing campaigns that, once again, I just think resonate to the consumer. I know resonate to the consumers because they've been very successful. Amarilla is a product out of Africa. It is a liqueur. And of course, in Africa, their elephants are very precious. And there's only a certain number right now, and they track almost every single one. Working with HP, what they did was they developed a process where people could individualize the elephant on the front using a technology called mosaic. So each elephant had a different coloration to it, a different imagery to it, and used different patterns. And after that, a portion, when you produced it and you ordered that bottle, a portion of the proceeds from the bottle were dedicated back to the elephants to protect them in the wild. So once again, showing that Amarilla was protecting one of their biggest assets in the marketplace, which was their representation of elephants in the wild. Next slide, please. Now, another example of companies that have been very, very good in showing what they stand for is Diageo. Early on, Diageo supported the LGBT community and came up with a limited edition of bottles. And what you're seeing here is every single bottle is different, has a different image of a couple showing diversity. And not only were the images on the front of the couples diverse, but also the background was modulated with color and also different imagery. And this is, once again, these became limited collectible items, and people to this day still have them. You can go out onto eBay and people are selling these. So rethinking your packaging and really considering it as a showcase of your values, and also as a decoration of art and also limited edition, is something that many brands are recognizing is very valuable, because it is this extension of their brand marketing, is the exterior of their packaging. Now, Diageo, next slide, continued this, and they amped it up one more. In their next execution, they had a call to the marketplace, and they said, please send us a copy of your partner and yourself, and we will take those and add them to the front of the bottles. So based on where you are, based demographically, if you sent a picture in of your couple, of yourself and your partner, that image was chosen and then selected and placed on the bottles randomly in the marketplace that you were in. And this wasn't only for the labels or the shrink sleeves on the bottles, people. This was also on, next slide, the corrugated boxes that were shipped into the stores, becoming wonderful displays. So remember, all of this capability of variability and personalization can occur across multiple different capabilities. It doesn't just have to be on a label. It doesn't just have to be on a box. It can be on FlexPack. It can be on everything. And that's the unique issue that HP has to offer, is that we are not just a one-hit wonder. We actually produce all different types of printing equipment that can produce these unilateral omni-channel executions for brands. And that's one of the reasons why I get to sit in front of these brands many times and have these conversations, because our technology is there. Next slide, please. Here's another example of Smirnoff. Smirnoff then moved away from the LGBT community and just said, you know what? Diversity in itself. Everybody's the same and everybody is different. There are two wonderful artists out of Spain called the Yarza twins. One is an artist and one is an engineer. And they work on these lovely campaigns together. And these designs are absolutely amazing. And using our SmartStream designer technology, we call it HPD for D, what they were able to do was produce bottle artwork for the Smirnoff 21, where there are 21 different heads, 21 different bottles, 21 different backgrounds. And by just randomly moving these items back and forth, every single bottle is totally different. No two bottles are the same. And this once again creates that message that everybody is the same, but everybody is different. It also creates this wonderful collectible scenario where you can choose the bottle you want because of the aesthetics on the outside, and then have more of a connection with the brand that art is created just for you. Next slide, please. And then you have companies like PepsiCo, and Lay's. They have been supporting the Cleft Palate organization for many, many years. And last year and continuing this year, what they do is they make available bags where you can upload a photograph of your face and have it produced on the bag. You purchase the bag, it's shipped to you. A portion of the proceeds go back to the Cleft Palate Association. Now, there's a large volume that are sold in the marketplace that are just standardized. Everybody's the same, but they give you the option to go online and purchase your own bag. And that's a wonderful thing. And the imagery is yours and you get to purchase it. And the difference is price is significant. You know, a typical bag might be $2.45. This bag might be $10, but the additional money and proceeds are going to a cause that people are engaged in and are supporting that brand for and recognizing them. So once again, bravo to the people at Lay's. They do an amazing job in this type of work. And you're going to see some other examples here too. Next slide, please. Another example of a company that has really recognized the resources that we have and wanted to call it to action is Danone. Danone produces a product called Aquador. Many companies are into the bottled water industry, and they have this product line, and they contracted with an artist who does amazing work in kind of like the surf industry, the water industry. And what he did was he created a bunch of artwork, or a piece of artwork, that was able to, through our HP SmartStream Mosaic, produce it where every single bottle is slightly different, but it all looks like the same. One of the things why this is so important on shelf sales is that when you see these bottles that are in front of you right now on the shelf, as you're walking down the aisle, the form factor is the same, but the visual graphic is different. And what that does is that makes you stop. And then you lean in and you look and say, what's going on here? Why the bottle? I'm so used to everything looking the same. Why is that bottle ever so slightly different? And then it gets you, in many cases, to touch the bottle and put the bottle into your hand to look at it. That sends a signal that there's a very good chance that product's going to go into your shopping cart. That's why this type of execution has some psychological background to it, but it also is, once again, sending that wonderful message of a cause that this company is standing behind, the importance of drinkable, quality water for their consumers. Next slide, please. And then another message we saw, this is Jones Sugarcane soda. What they did was they wanted to send a message out to the marketplace that we're all in this together. We understand it's difficult, we understand it's hard, but we're in this together. So if you look at the images, you're saying, you know, thank you to the essential workers on the far left. Then you're seeing on the far right, we're all in this together. And there were different graphics. Now, Jones also allows you to upload your own imagery. So if you're a company and you want to do that, there's a great way to upload and do work. Next slide, please. And then another one from Pepsi. This is a program that's running right now in India, and it's thanking the essential workers. Next slide. What you're seeing is they partnered with different companies, and it's called Heartworks. And it's thanking the essential workers for keeping the products on the shelf. Next slide. It's thanking them for getting products into the doors of people and getting them during the toughest days and making it a little bit sweeter. Next slide. And it's also thanking them for making sure the food has still a quality and being produced properly and getting to them. Next slide. And it's really just thanking them for supporting the marketplace and making sure that everything is as best as possibly can be given the situation that we're in. Next slide, please. So here's a wonderful execution. This is a company called Coca, and they manufacture a powdered drink. And best way to say this is that they are giving a nod to the essential workers in a very unique way by rebranding the front of the bottle with a specific word. Next slide, please, and video.
Hoy, más que nunca, desde Colacao queremos daros las gracias. Gracias a todos los que os habéis sacrificado para cuidarnos, alimentarnos, protegernos e informarnos para que millones de personas pudiéramos estar en casa con la tranquilidad que no nos iba a faltar de nada. Desde Colacao queremos daros las gracias por tanto, con esta edición solidaria cuyos beneficios se destinarán íntegramente al Banco de Alimentos. Solo os podemos decir gracias.
So as you can see, a wonderful, wonderful campaign. Next slide, please. And this is a nice entry into the next session that's going to happen after the break. Here's an example, not the one that you're going to see later on, which is absolutely amazing, but just as amazing. Hershey actually made available to people in the marketplace, especially the essential workers, messaged bars saying thank you. Thank you to different people for the work that they did during this pandemic. These are a wonderful way of showing that Hershey is connected with the people in the marketplace, how they recognize the pains and the efforts and the trials and tribulations that have occurred in different segments, and also showing that they are a quality company, recognizing people and really doing wonderful things for the marketplace to make sure that everybody keeps a good mind about what's going on. So with that, next slide. I want to thank you for this time. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break, so you can all get some coffee. I have mine here, and take a little bit of a breath. Maybe take some bio breaks. Stick around. We have a little video that's going to play, and I do recommend that you stay. We have a wonderful presentation from a great group of people from Hershey, and then a little later on we have an inside tour of our experience center. And if you've never seen a printing press run campaigns like this before, it is worth sitting through. So with that, I want to thank you, and we're going to break at this time. Well, welcome back, everyone, to the PAC 100 Summit. Hope you enjoyed the earlier portion of the meeting. What we're going to be doing is talking with the people from Hershey and also their design agency, BETC, to really kind of understand their amazing campaign they did for the Hershey work. So with that, can we get Andrea up on the line so we can chat a little bit? Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine,
Andrea, could
thank
you do me a
you.
favor? Could you
Yes,
explain yourself? Could you talk a little bit about what you do and your organization?
yes, for sure. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. So thank you so much for the invitation. I'm the Executive Creative Director of BTC São Paulo. BTC is an advertising agency, and we believe in design very strongly. And I'm very happy to be here. Hershey's is our client for more than 3 years in the agency, and it's a privilege to have such a client that really is brave to embrace nice ideas. So I'm very happy to be here with them.
You know, isn't that wonderful, Andrea? You and I are in similar situations. We work with these wonderful brands around the world, and they are so brave and they are so exciting to work with, and they're willing to take risks. And isn't that lovely to see? I mean, especially at a time right now when the pandemic is such a problem, many people are fearful of taking risks. But those people who take risks and really understand and listen to their customer and deliver things that entice their customer or excite their customer are the ones who are really going to succeed going forward. Do you agree with that?
Totally agree. I think that we have to spark relevant conversations. And we only do this by really talking to people, really talking to sentiment of people. And we only do this with bravery and with partnership, with collaboration. So it's fundamental, I think, that client and agents and designers, that we work together in order to achieve more creative results.
And you know, the world has become ever so much smaller during this pandemic. I mean, it is not beyond my day. I'm on the phone with Japan at 9 o'clock in the evening. I'm talking to you, and I see the campaigns. What's very interesting is the campaigns coming out of Latin America are absolutely lovely. They are embracing family. They're embracing culture. They're embracing messages of positive communication between different people. And it's lovely to see. And what's even better is that people are looking to the work coming out of Latin America for not only its beautiful design and aesthetics, but also for its messaging. So, you know, for the people who are on this call right now, the campaign that we're going to be talking with Hershey about was actually started back in Latin America and was developed with with Larissa's team. So, or Andrea's team, excuse me. So this is absolutely a wonderful thing. You know, working with worldwide brands such as this, Andrea, what would you say to other brands that are on the phone? We have the attendance and the sign up for this session has been absolutely amazing. And it's all C-suite level brand people, you know, CMOs and packaging innovation managers and the creative agencies who work for them. What message would you send to them about how they should engage with their clients and their design agencies between now and as we get out of this pandemic situation?
I really think that, first of all, we have to have collaboration. We have to have partnership, because it's only through partnership and collaboration that we can achieve like great results. And I think that we are talking to people beyond consumers. And people, they have feelings, they have fear, they have love, they have families, they talk about diversity, they talk about tension things they are in their day-by-day life. So brands should enter these conversations with them. I really do believe that we are talking to people beyond consumers.
I agree. I think that clearly with the millennials and the Gen Zers, they have been brought up where they have an expectation because of this little thing that people, brands will know who they are. And they don't want that creepy marketing. They want, you know my age bracket, you know my interest because you get all that data from lovely things like Facebook and Twitter and everything. So deliver to me things that are relevant to me, that would engage me and make me recognize that you're respecting my interests. And it's a very difficult thing. I think early on, at least in my life, with working with personalization and data, is that people are just amassing the data and putting it into some kind of database to say, oh, we have this data. It really takes science and also technology to be able to say, okay, how do we use that information in a deliverable way back out to the consumer to really show them that we're listening to them and we want to take their input and we want to deliver to them good things. And it really changes the makeup of what a design agency does and how you counsel your brands and what they should be doing.
Yes, I really totally agree. It's about respecting the individual, that is the audience. So in our agents, what we are talking, it's not only, you don't have to have this passive attitude that you just deliver things, deliver messages. But we are sparkling conversations. So we have to set up subjects and issues that are a part of their day-by-day life. So they want to enter the conversation and we want to be relevant in their lives. As you said, respecting their interests, respecting the individuals.
So once again, how, and I know we're also trying to connect the guys from Sao Paulo. So we're waiting for, you might see other heads pop up, people, while we're talking. But one of the other questions I had for you, so in working this campaign, you did deploy digital print. You used HP's digital print technology to make these things happen. And in many cases, creative agencies and creative designers haven't been really educated in college or in high school or wherever they learn their artwork about the capabilities of digital print. Was it was it a difficult learning curve for your people? Did you find the right partners to help you and walk you through this process as you developed this campaign?
Yes, I think that once you have like a different insight, something that is original, you said the first thing that you have to do, you have to find the right suppliers. You have to find the right partners to really make it happen. Because it doesn't. If you have a very good idea and it's only hidden to a bigger audience, it doesn't work. So you have to have the right partners so you can deploy this idea to a broader audience. And we found the digital printing really, because we could do it on time, because then we had our idea is for the International Women, and so we had like a deadline. We had to conquer that.
Wow. Now, when you clearly your organization is a global design agency. And clearly Hershey's is a global design agency. When I've worked with other brands in the past, what's interesting is that they do one campaign and then all of a sudden they realize what the return on investment was and how wonderful the campaign was, and they start to amplify it out to other geographies. Do you find yourself doing that now with this campaign? Are you starting to think about, wow, we need to really start to think about finding partners for production and everything in different geographies, and how do we do that, and how do we take advantage of this? What is the process internally for you right now as your organization working with Hershey?
I think that after we do this presentation, everybody gonna see that we don't have not only a campaign, we have actually a platform. So we got a platform that we began in 2020, and I think that we are right now at the point of really making it bigger, and we can make it even bigger and global, because we don't have not only a campaign but a platform for the brand.
Okay. Well, Andrea, let me ask you this. Can we start into the presentation? Because I think we've teased it enough and people are interested in seeing it.
Yes.
So if we get the presentation up, and people, we are having some technical issues with Larissa and Marcel being able to join us. So once they come in, we'll introduce them and everything. But we're going to do our best to move forward. And you know how those things happen with technology. But Andrea, are you up for the challenge? Can we move forward? And I'll help if we need to.
No, yes, for sure. But they were in the link, but it's okay. Let's do it.
They're trying to connect. There must be an issue with the connection. So if you can pull up, Caitlin, I know that you're on the line listening. If you can pull up Andrea's presentation. I don't know if there was a second one, but if you can pull up the presentation, and we'll ask Andrea to kind of step in and start it going. So with that, thank you, Andrea.
Yes. So we are going to tell you right now the stories behind Hershey's Hershey product. I don't know if everybody here in this room, the audience, knows about it, and we're going to tell you a little bit about it. So can you please, next slide, please? In Brazil, Hershey's is a new player facing strong competition in a scenario dominated by traditional and centennial brands long present in the market. So Hershey's, the chocolate here in Brazil, is not that traditional as it is in the US. Can you please, next slide? The strategy is to use innovation and creativity to call the attention of more and more Brazilians. So because we are not that big and traditional in Brazil, we had to use innovation and creativity. Next slide, please. Aligned to this, Hershey Company has a strong reputation in pursuing initiatives of inclusion and diversity. So when we started working with Hershey Company, it's something that is really, it's a truth for the brand. And all the time that we are, as an advertising person, when you look for a purpose for a brand, the first thing that you have to do is it has to be something that is true for the brand. And Hershey Company, it is a company that has diversity and inclusion in their DNA since the beginning, because of all the story of Milton Hershey with the school in the US, with diversity and the caring for the others. So it's something that it's implicit. It's something that is in the Hershey Company DNA. Next slide, please. So when we were looking for a purpose to Brazil in order to really pass the message of diversity and inclusion, we were thinking about the Women's International Day, and then we came to this insight. And I'm gonna pass you through this insight. Next slide, please. So when we look at Hershey's logo, next, we can see her, next, and she. Notice? Next. So her and she, they are, yes, you can pass, yes. Her and she, they are in our packaging since 1894. And no one has ever noticed. It was that kind of insight that it was so obvious once you find out that it was, oh my God, look at this, her and she, it's in our name. Next, please. So what we did, we thought that this happens, this being there and no one is seeing, is something that happens with thousands of young female artists who are out there and no one notices. Next. That was the starting point for the biggest women empowerment platform Hershey's has ever created. I'm sorry, my phone is Larissa calling us. I'm sorry, Doris. I think that she's trying to get on the link with us. Larissa is the marketing member from Hershey Company, and I think that she's trying to get in the link. So this was the starting point for the biggest women empowerment platform Hershey has ever created. Next, please. We used our biggest asset, our own packaging, to give visibility for many young female artists who were willing to be seen. And this was before the pandemic, because now, with the pandemic, the culture world really was hit by 100%. So if it was something that was urgent before, imagine right now. So next, please. So not only we create a limited edition packaging, but we create an exhibition. Next, please. I'm gonna show you what we did. We curated 6 artists and we budgeted with them so they could partner with us and they could create with us 6 packagings, new packagings, using the her and she as a canvas. So for example, Loliland, and we put like her hashtag, her Instagram account, because what we wanted to do with this is to really give visibility to their work. So this first one, her illustrations at Loliland. Loliland is a graphic artist. Next, please. She draws. So at Afinana. Afinana, she's another female artist, graphic illustrator as well. Next, please. Her poems. So at Luisa Munique. Luisa, she's a poet and she writes like beautiful things. And we did our packaging with her like a canvas to really showcase her work. Next, please. She writes. So at Eulíricas. Eulíricas, she's another poet in Brazil. Her name is Camila, and she writes like beautiful stuff. Next, please. Her music. Then we had two singers. So this first one at Bruna Mendes. So Bruna Mendes, she's a singer, and her work is wonderful. And we had this QR code that you could put your phone and you go straight to the YouTube, a video clip with her music. Next, please. She sings. So she's another singer, Isalu, at Isalu. Isalu, when you put the QR code, you go straight to a clip, a music clip of Isalu in the YouTube. Next, please. So we had the collection of 6 female artists who are they are marvelous and they need visibility. So we did this collection, and then what we did to bring this idea to life, beyond the packaging. Next, please. So we printed those beautiful crafted packaging, and then we create activations and all the 360 around it. Next, please. So we partnered with Carrefour in Brazil, and we put the new packaging like on the shelves of Carrefour, and it was really wonderful. It was like over in less than 10 days, all the stock. Next, please. We did out-of-home posters. We sent it to some clients, like some big clients from Carrefour, and we also did some activations in, for example, metro stations and things like that. Next. We also called all the artists, female artists, during the week of March 8th last year. We called the artists. So if you're also an artist, come and share your work with us. Share your work using the hashtag Hershey Gallery, and we're gonna reproduce this in our social networks. So Hershey's, during the week of March 8, 2020, we open our social networks in our Instagram to all the female artists that share their work with us. And we did this in Brazil, and we had this deployment also in some other countries in Latin America, as Puerto Rico, for example. And we had like local artists sharing their work. And we had this big virtual gallery with other female artists that they were not on the packaging, on the initial collection of 6 artists, but they were participating in this virtual gallery by sharing their work, their social networks with the hashtag Hershey Gallery. Next. We also had press kits to share with, of course, for PR, with some newspapers, journalists, and some influencers, so we could spread this idea to more and more people. Next, please. We also did some samplings and activations with our Hershey community, so with our employees. This picture from the left is all the employees that they received the personalized packaging with their own picture and with their own, the thing that appeared of them. For example, she leads her feelings of collaboration, she draws, she sells. So with all the specialities of all the employees from Hershey community, we also did some activations in places with a big audience, like metro station, and we use like the diversity, not only with the with also the people that were there, like distributing the chocolate bars, this new packaging. So we had like diversity not only with gender but also with ages and with ratio. Next, please. As I said, all the Hershey community was engaged with us. It was the first campaign that we realized that all the Hershey community, the employees in the Hershey company and also in the advertising agent at BTC, everybody had the personalized bar digital printed, and of course we shared this online. The engagement was wonderful because everybody felt represented and shared this online. Next, please. The earned media that we had with this campaign was really out of what we have imagined for the beginning, because we had many articles about it, and it was like in many publications, and we had $300,000 in earned media, really a ROI that we were not expecting, like the size of it. Next, please. I'm going to show you right now a video with everything that I was telling you right now, with a better accent, with a better English. So I'm going to show you a case study video with everything that we've done with this campaign for Hershey's 2020. So can you please?
For years, Hershey's has been changing its packaging. But only in 2020, something occurred to us. She noticed? For International Women's Day, we made the strongest change ever. She. These are not commemorative packages. They're an exhibition. We turned real packaging into a canvas and invited artists to showcase their work. Each woman created something from scratch, specifically for her and she rappers. In a few days, limited edition was sold out at supermarkets. We also opened our social networks to invite all women to participate. The response was huge. Illustrators, writers, singers, dancers, and many more shared their work to be featured in the Hershey Gallery. In 1 week, we've had 1 billion total impressions, $300,000 in earned media, a limited edition sold out, and best of all, they loved it. She, showcasing female talent one bar at a time.
Can you please show the next slide with the results? So we had like huge results as brand tracking, in awareness, in brand potential, in brand power. But most of all, what we have been discussing, me, Larissa, and Marcel, the clients that were supposed to be here right now, it's that what we achieved with this idea, it was, next slide, please. It's really like that 100 of women felt represented. So we had an idea that is beyond a traditional idea. Now we have a platform. We have a women empowerment platform that we're gonna broaden this year after year. I hope so. So it's only the beginning of a very huge and global idea that we are now producing the 2021 edition for that. And we are, what we want is to make this idea even more global, even broader, really bigger, and that more and more female artists feel represented and share with us their talent, And we want to showcase their work. We want to give them tools to help them be better artists and with more visibility. And that's it. Thank you. Obrigado in Portuguese. Merci in French.
Andrea, thank you so much. We're still having technical difficulties getting Marcel and also Larissa on. There's a firewall that's on their side that's causing a little bit of issue. But so let's continue the conversation. Once again, I get chills when I see the execution and then the potential. I mean, in reality, one of the things I see, and we've seen it with other customers. For example, most of the call are familiar with the Coca-Cola campaign, where they place the names on the front of the bottles. And most people don't understand why they did that. And they were really trying to engage with an audience of people, the millennials. So they used the names of the people within what's called the age bracket tweeners, 8 to 18. And if you were in New York City, they pulled the demographics from New York City and got the top 150 names for boys and girls of that age bracket. And if you were in Texas, they pulled the names there. And if you were in California, they pulled the names there. And what happened is that program got so valuable to them and became such a good performer for them that they actually turned on an online shopping environment where people can go in, like Doris. The name Doris isn't going to be a millennial name. It's from the 60s. But what happens is I can go online. You're laughing. I'm old. It's okay.
But it's a beautiful name.
I can go online and I can actually type my name in and order bottles that way. Do you envision packaging in the future being like that, where consumers can actually go online to their heritage products they like Hershey? And for example, I'm a photographer. What stops me from taking some of my wildlife photographs and being able to go to Hershey's website, uploading my photograph, and choosing either her or she, using the templates that you've chosen, and then ordering maybe 100 bars for maybe my Christmas gift list and sending them out? Do you envision packaging moving in that direction in the very near future? Do you see that type of stuff happening?
For sure. This is a very good idea, for example, to engage with your consumers, with your audience. And I think right now, with the tools that we have with e-commerce, this is a personalized e-commerce. So for sure, you can have like a limited edition with your name, with your talent, with your work, to give as present, as a gift, a Christmas present at the end of the year. I think this the brands that understand that we can, it's about connection, that we can connect even more with the people that is our audience, not only our consumers. I think this is the tricky point for it, to really give, to give space and to give strength for more and more braver ideas, because I think that it's about bravery. It's about making things that are relevant to consumers. And personalization is one of the things.
Right. Well, it's really a democratization of the marketing. I mean, for example, many times brands will go out and find spokespeople, and they'll pay a lot of money to have a relationship with that spokespeople. When they have all these wonderful, talented people out there in the marketplace, that there are real consumers that they can showcase. And I think that's one of the most wonderful things, is because it's going to change the way the brands think about how they brand their companies with spokespeople and using the people in the marketplace. So I think that's a wonderful thing. I also think that many brands are going to recognize that they're going to have to tread lightly on what campaigns they go after, or what initiatives they go after. Going after Her and She, of course, is a wonderful diversity campaign. Some companies may stay away from political issues right now. Some companies might want to do other things. It really depends on what that company is willing to do and what stance they're willing to take, because the exterior packaging is no longer the physical exterior design that's on a package is no longer just a place to put information about the product and the SKU number and everything like that. It is an extension of the brand's values. It becomes a place where they can showcase what the brand stands for, rather than just placing it on their website on a page that says this is what we stand for. And I think
it's the biggest.
Yep,
it's the biggest touch point.
It is the first touch point. I mean, this is what's so interesting. It's like, when you go to the front door and you touch that product, it's the first physical interaction that you have with that product. And I think that Apple, when you think about the back of the iPod, yes, I
Yes.
am old. When you think about the original iPod boxes, I still have them. And I find that a lot of people are keeping boxes. I mean, think about sneakers. If you're buying a limited edition pair of sneakers from somebody, and that box has maybe a personalized message with a name, I don't know if you know this, but recently one of the magazines, Elle magazine, had Kim Kardashian on the cover. And what we did was with HP, we personalized her handwriting. We made it into a typeface and got special messages from her. And all of the subscribers to that magazine received a personalized message from Kim Kardashian. Think about that in the way of product branding. Think about that in the way of these limited edition sneakers. In anything that you're touching, the value of that packaging has been raised, and now people want to hold on to it. They want to use it. They want to be proud about it. So I think it's really good. It's really good that we're seeing that type of thing.
I totally agree with you. It's about the storytelling, and I think it's the storytelling. The packaging is really storytelling. Marcel is here.
Marcel is there. Thank you. Can we hear Marcel? Let's see if we can get his headset up or his voice up.
Delay, connection problems. Finally, we are here. I'm
We're
sure
so
Andrea did
sorry.
a great job in presenting the case.
Very nice. And audience, this is the guy that was here with us to make this idea happen. So we were talking about this, how we need like brave clients to really go beyond consumers and touch consumers, touch people as people, not only consumers, with brilliant ideas. And we need clients together with agents, real partnerships to make those things happen. So this is the client that is behind the Hershey project.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody.
Marcel, talk a little bit about yourself. Give us a little background. Because of the technology issues, we did go through the presentation, but we want to hear from you firsthand how you worked with Andrea's team, how you worked internally in your own team to make to realize this campaign into the marketplace, and also what your thoughts are in the future of how you might take the learnings of this into the marketplace in other areas.
Yeah, no, sure. First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity of being here. Again, sorry for this delay because we did have some connection troubles. But I would say that I have to give you a little background before talking a bit about the project to understand that everything starts with the parting point we have in Brazil. No? Hershey, different from the U.S. In Brazil, we are not a leader. We do not have a big presence for a while. So we do have competitors here that play with the whole we have in the US as a company, and we are challengers. So in a very, very David Goliath kind of approach, we are all the time looking for how to combine creativity with a boldness to make sure we make our brands and our business and sustainable growing. And what we achieved with this campaign was exactly in this direction. So when the BTC team came with the idea of this concept, there was a perfect match with the legacy, the strong legacy we have in our company, because Hershey globally has a very, very strong tradition with inclusion and diversity. This is part of our DNA. And when we saw this opportunity of being bold and changing, an asset that important as the packaging, we love the idea and we embrace this from the very beginning. So as Andrea mentioned, it was a really good combined effort from our team, Hershey team with BATC. So we did a lot of efforts in terms of making, this coming to life. Digital printing was the way to allow us, to make this become a reality. But on top of the packaging, we did a 360, great approach. So it was like a business, really business movement that is so powerful and brought so many results to the brand that we are now deciding to amplify this and to transform this in an international platform. Not only there is a second edition coming to the Brazilian market in just a couple of weeks more, but also we expand into other countries internationally. So I would say that and I was just joining when you were discussing about the importance of the relevance and about the impact of a packaging. So for us, was really great to have this strong concept because it's not about advertising. So it's about a brand idea, very powerful, that connects with the DNA and the purpose of our company, our business. And that's why I believe the results were so powerful. I'm sure Andrea already shared some of the outputs of this activation. And we seen, that the land, the power of being extended for many, many years in different areas, even beyond the women empowerment to other diversity and inclusion areas.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Marcel, let me ask you, clearly, and I know you just came in, we were talking about what some of the most wonderful programs are coming out of Latin America right now. Lovely design and lovely content. How do you, within your organization, look to maybe take this project and maybe amplify it across different geographies? Have you now built a team internally to kind of make this happen? I mean, it's all about teamwork, I know. I'm just looking to get a little insight about how you're doing it inside.
Yeah, actually, a strong idea like this, obviously, it did make a lot of noise, not only in the market, but also within our company globally. So what we have right now is our international marketing team. They are working in collaboration with our marketing lead here in Brazil. So we have Larissa that was also planned to join us in this conference. So Larissa is the marketing head for Latam, for our region, and she's leading together with the marketing global team how to expand the initiative and deploy the same kind of a strong concept in different markets. So you're right now working in some other geographies, and you're going to have some, let's say, initial steps in many other markets this year. And we are working to make the scale and the footprint even bolder for 2022. So this will be led by Larissa and Andrea with her team here in Brazil as a global initiative, working together and in collaboration with the Havas network around the world and also our marketing network in other markets.
I think that that our partnership is there. We love working with brands and creatives like you guys. It's one of our joys in life to be able to see this stuff materialize in the marketplace. And if you're somebody watching this session, I would say to you, I think all three of us would agree to this. It is all about collaboration. It's about saying, I need help, help us out, asking people to educate you on how to do these type of things, partner with good leaders, partner with good people, talk often, learn from your mistakes, and really revel in the successes when they happen. And I think that once again, the visibility of this campaign and how successful it is that reveling. And I think that it's going to be a campaign talked about for many, many years. So once again, I applaud you all. To the people who are also on the
if you allow me, if you allow me just to build on your comment, because I believe you're totally right. Partnership and collaboration is mandatory here and is needed. And I believe also this all relies on the very strong initial concept and idea. What I'm saying this because when we got to the retailers, for example, where we were selling the bars, it was pretty easy to convince them to join this effort because of the power of the idea, because of the concept. What I'm just saying here is fully agree that we have to partner with the best people, the best companies, the best vendors, you guys, in the digital printing area, but also your local partners here in Brazil. So all, the printers and everybody that was engaged was key. But I believe everybody was really excited about bringing this idea to life because the concept or the roots they're so strong, they're so touchy in terms of important and relevant for everybody that every single player in this game, they were happy to make this happen. And I believe this definitely drives things easier.
Well, once again, I thank you guys for the partnership, for the program, for the continued relationship with you. It's absolutely wonderful. And for those people who are going to stay on, we're going to be taking you behind the scenes and actually have you see how these campaign was actually produced utilizing HP's digital print equipment by taking you behind the scenes into our facility, which is our Atlanta facility, that we take our brands to and show them how to use these products. So with that, I want to thank once again Andrea, I want to thank Marcel and Larissa for her constant efforts. I know she's been trying to get online, so thank you so much, guys. And with that, I'd like
She's
to
right here with
toss
me.
this over. She is. Larissa, come on, stick your head in there and say hi. We want to say hi to you if you're
Yeah.
in there. Come on in. I didn't know you were there.
We're just avoiding to get together because of the masks, but she'll show up for just a second.
Come
There
here.
she is. Hello, Larissa.
Thank you.
Stay healthy, my
Very
friends.
much.
Stay healthy.
Thank
Gracias.
you.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this session open. Once again, thank you to everybody. I'm going to toss it over to our people at the Atlanta facility. We're going to show you a short little video, and then please stick on and watch this. What you're going to see is how this campaign not only was materialized onto the belly band labels that Hershey used on the bar, but ultimately could be produced on boxes, on shrink sleeves, on flex packs. So if you're excited to learn more about how these things are actually happening, stay tuned because we've got some good little presentation coming up. So thank you again, people. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Graphics Experience Center in Alpharetta, Georgia. It is an absolute honor to have you here today. My name is Dean Lapidot, and I have the honor of leading the HP GEC. Wanted to tell you a little bit about the GEC. The GEC has 65,000 square foot of printing Disneyland, printing Wonderland here. We also count with about 20 solution architects, which each have 25 years of experience and bring tremendous amount of value to our customers, to brands that we interact with. Wanted to share with you what is it that we do here. We focus on samples. We focus on doing testing. We focus on driving one-to-one demos, as well as hosting events. Some of them are face-to-face, some are virtual, just like the one that we have today. Wanted also to share with you that during COVID, we've had to reinvent ourselves, like many of you, I'm sure. We used to have 5 demos a week. Today we are up to 7 demos in a single day. Okay, so we've been quite busy.
We prepared a short video for you that will take you through the GEC. I'd like to ask my friend Weston to go ahead and run that video now. Weston?
Welcome.
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 Welcome to HP. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here today. Enjoy your experience. So, what'd you think? Pretty cool, right? Fantastic. Let me remind you that the HP GEC is really your GEC. It is your experience center. And I want you to know that when you're here, we want you to feel right at home, whether it's virtual or face-to-face. I'm really looking forward to see you here soon. Thank you and welcome. With that, I'd like to pass the mic over to my friend Brent Holloway, who's on the other side of the GEC. I'll pass you to him right away. But beforehand, just to let you know, Brent is our category manager for flexible packaging. And with that, Brent, all yours. Take it away, my friend.
Thanks, Dean. And thank you to PAC for giving us this opportunity to speak to you today about the Digital Pouch Factory. You heard the word reinvention in Dean's kickoff, and that's what this is all about. Not only reinventing the way we demo for our customers, but reinventing the entire end-to-end solution that we can provide. I'd love to tell you more about it, but first, let me let you hear a story of one of our customers. Phil at Rootree is going to share a short story with you about their digital journey.
I think packaging should be synonymous with sustainability. So much on the news about plastic waste. Everybody is trying to put a green stamp on something, but I think that there is a tremendous amount of improvements to be made. This industry needs a reform. It's never been more important for everyone to start learning, making changes, and becoming more responsible. At Rootree, sustainability describes more than just our packaging. It's the way we work, the way we live, and everything we do. We are at heart farmers, so we grow microgreens. We are all nutritionists, so we also have a family restaurant. If we are going to truly stand for sustainability, then we feel that everybody's health should be elevated. With such a strong foundation and partnership with HP Indigo, I believe that we have the ultimate recipe for what packaging is going to be in the future. Rootrees use HP Indigo 20,000 digital printing press to really help us grow our sustainable packaging business. There is just this vast number of tools made available to us to create outstanding print and therefore outstanding packaging. It just allows us to grow at a rapid pace, take on a lot of new accounts. Converting customers to digital, converting them to sustainable, HP and Indigo Electro Inks all play a part of that, getting us closer to where we can say, hey, this is truly a compostable pouch. In HP Pack Ready lamination, you're not dealing with solvents, you're dealing with thermal active films, creating maybe 15% of the waste that would be created on the traditional solvent-based lamination. So the waste, if you compare it to anything else, is tremendously different, and that speaks very loudly for sustainability. By 2021, 90% of the products we'll produce are going to be truly sustainable options, truly recyclable options, truly compostable options. But with HP Indigo behind us, we feel we have that much more resources, ability to create the impact that we want to create.
Wow, such an inspiring story. It's always great to hear, and I learn new things every time I hear it. I had an opportunity to catch up with Phil just recently to follow up on that video that's about 1.5 years old to see where they stand on their commitments and growing their business. Let's hear that interview.
Good morning. You just watched a great video with Phil St. Cyr from Roottree, and he talked about his business and its impact in the brands he served. Welcome, Phil.
Hey, thank you. Good morning.
Thanks for spending a few minutes to talk with me and kind of share where we've been since we recorded that video in late 2019. Importantly, I think to the audience is a commitment in that video you shared to have 90% of Rootree's volume in a recyclable or compostable substrate package by 2021. Obviously, that was recorded pre-COVID. Can you tell us about the impacts of COVID on your business and maybe how you guys are pivoting to address that commitment?
Yeah, Brent, I think you got the dates wrong. I thought it was 21, so I got about 100 years to go there. No, no, I'm just joking. Yeah, we're well on our way. Obviously, there's some challenges that came this year with being pandemic and the requirement for packaging that can perform under pretty rigorous e-commerce climate and so on. So that actually has given us the fuel we needed in order to launch a brand new version of our compostable web that's more geared towards that environment. We're definitely well on way. I think I can't say exactly where in 2021 exact percentage is going to be, if I'm being totally honest, but it's at the core focus of everything that Roottree does. And we are definitely getting more than 90% in terms of interest and in terms of inquiries from our clients. This is really the place where people want to go. I think the ages of non-responsible packaging are coming to an end fairly shortly. So.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think it's imperative not only on us in the digital flexible packaging arena, but the entire flexible packaging industry to address this, because we have a good story out there. Flexible packaging is already by its nature the most sustainable form of packaging from a weight perspective, energy use perspective. It's just now on our shoulders and our challenge to take it to the next level and provide, like you said, compostable and recyclable structures. And I think the industry is slowly coming around to that. And I think, our customers, small and medium brands, and even the large brands have laid down the gauntlet that this is where we need to be as an industry.
Yeah, like you said, for Roottree, and we acknowledge that there's many benefits of FlexPack and sustainability. But for us, it's never been good enough just riding on the fringe benefits of the industry, and we really want to develop and bring new solutions to market. And it's not the goal or the endeavor of a single company. This is really a whole industry that has to come together in order to make substantial change, and maybe with a little push from the regulating bodies to have us work in a more sustainable, more forward-thinking way.
I love the fact that your business is built around that forward thinking and you know, drawing the line in the sand and taking the actions needed to meet it and grow in a sustainable way. One thing I wanted to point out is there are a lot of creative agencies and brands in the audience. Maybe you want to speak to them directly about what Root Tree does, how they do it, how you guys are different in bringing value to them.
Yeah, you know, Root Tree is, a lot of people know us for the digital flex pack side and the sustainable side. There's a lot to what we do. One is the vertical integration direct to co-packing. That's probably substantially different than a lot of flexible packaging manufacturers. So we are integrated with co-packing for dry, granular food products, mostly in the ingredient and nutraceutical and snack food type of an industry. We do filling for liquids in the cleaning and beauty and the cosmetics industry. We are also vertically integrated with our creative design and team as well. So we are a creative house. We do everything from logo, brand creation, packaging, design, to full out web design and implementation. So there's a lot of that. And then we have the hidden part of Root Tree, which is more of the R&D and then what's to come, and trying to find ways to be more sustainable or find ways to fill the gap in practicality of packaging. So technology assisted packaging and so on.
That is very impressive. And to your point, there are not many, if any, aside from Root Tree, companies out there that serve the breadth of vertical integration that you guys do. And it always impresses me at the steps you guys take at the end of the day to drive, you know, sustainable growth for your customers, but also doing it in the most time and cost efficient way possible.
Mm-hmm.
So as we wrap up, you know, you've been in this space for a long time. I consider you and the industry considers you a pioneer. After we get through COVID and this kind of bump in the road, what do you think the future holds for digital flexible packaging and companies like Root Tree, who've, you know, put a stake in the ground in many of the areas to drive things forward?
First, I'm going to address your first comment. I don't know if I'm a pioneer, and I don't know if I've been in this industry too long, because, you know, from what I can tell, it's not too much gray hair in there. Still fairly young.
You thrive, my friend. You thrive on it, and I think every time I see you, your head of hair is fuller. So I think it, you know, you rise to the challenge in many ways.
You know what I'm a pioneer of? I think a pioneer of a good, healthy workplace. The industry is irrelevant. Actually, you know what? I'm going to answer your next question upside down. I think it's good. So you can see there. Let me see if I can see myself. Yeah.
This is awesome. Yeah, you saw in the video that, you know, Phil's workplace has a focus on employee health, and he's, we interrupted his morning yoga routine, so he's going to get a little bit in while we finish up.
Yeah, I was just thinking if I answer your questions upside down, it could make it a little more interesting for the guests. So I forget the question now.
The future of digital flexible packaging. You know, what's your insight as a, you know, I call you a pioneer, whether you accept that or not, is your purvey, but just your expert opinion.
Yeah, you know, the future of the industry is going to rely around a lot of technology and being embedded into packaging, how to use packaging as a marketing vehicle, as telling of a story. I think packaging is going to become, in a way, the weight and measure of how brands are seen in the consumer's eyes, pertaining to the choices they make, the circular economy concepts of how they choose the packaging and the story around it. You know, the challenge is that you have the clientele becoming super educated, not just in in branding and how to bring their products to market, but they're super educated in the sustainable factor. And that is that double-edged sword that says that even when we push the envelope and we say, hey, you know what, this is compostable and this is this and this is that, and we're so proud of it, and they come up to us and they say, well, okay, but you know what, you're at 40% renewable content, like why don't you make it 50%? Like, what's the big deal? So it's good. We learn a lot from the clients. I think the industry as a whole, and I keep saying it, I think sustainability it has to blend in. You know, it's just like you should not have the choice of one versus the other, of a good packaging versus a bad packaging, and that decision right now is the onus of the brand and the budget they've assigned to the packaging and so on. But I believe that in the future that choice is not going to be given in that way. Yeah, you can choose your colors and the way that you brand yourself, but you're not going to be able to choose whether you can hurt the environment or you cannot hurt the environment. And we look forward to a lot more policies being implemented and to change with the market, similar to what happened to the single-use plastics. We see a lot of R&D going and the recycling industry getting a bit of a reform. Being able to standardize what gets recycled, what does not get recycled. So even in Canada, you know, it's all over the place across the country. I think that reform and that standardization as it comes to recycling is a big thing. I think the education and how to identify packages that are compostable so that they can plug into the municipalities' composting initiatives and programs is going to be taking place. And really, I think that regulating bodies, governments have to crack down on us as an industry, because without that, there's just not enough push. There's too much people in the industry just very comfortable in that, you know, repeatable business with materials that have been made that way for 50 years, and it's just too easy. So I'm looking forward to a lot of disruption, and I think that's going to be the first thing that comes forward. And then, you know, with technology, with RFID, with track and trace, with all of these things coming into packaging, with certain security models, that's kind of where I see packaging. So I think I said a lot without saying too much, but
I love it. And I think, you know, part of the mantra we have at HP is reinvention. And I think you hit the nail on the head. The future is going to be a time of disruption and reinvention, and that's going to, you know, drive things forward for brands like Roottree that have built this totally vertically integrated ecosystem to serve your customers, and brands like HP that you know, help you do what you do every day. So I think I took from your summary, it's going to be a disruptive future. It's going to be a fun ride with a lot of challenges, but the industry is going to grow as a result of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as it translates to even the other part of what we do into the co-packing, I find that the co-packing, the whole machinery part of the co-packing side is going to grow a lot, right? Again, people are comfortable packing rigid containers at, you know, 200-300 pieces a minute with labels, with coding, with this and that, and that's fine for the big CPGs. That doesn't work for small brands that want to do some innovative things, which requires a lot of then manual labor for custom packing, custom applications. But I think that there's a lot that needs to be done on the co-packing side so as to be able to more effectively handle flexible films for short runs. So I do see that coming along. And then even pouching itself, you know, pouching, there's a few companies of making, you know, pouch converting equipment, and HP is part of that supply chain, is really forward thinking, but we lack leaders like HP in some of the other processes of what takes place in manufacturing. Because I just see it as this kind of a dinosaur, is a little too slow, too much human interaction, not enough technology, not enough forward thinking happening. So I look forward to that being changed a lot, all in the hopes that we can service our customers a little better, a little faster, with a little more flexibility.
I love that sentiment. Any parting words for the audience?
You know what, guys, you should be very healthy. This is the pandemic. You should stay home, be safe, and have at the core focus is health and wellness and family. I think that this is what this year has taught us. So a lot of thankfulness. Thank you for the support from HP and from others involved. And Root Tree is always going to be there to continue leading the small aspect of flexible packaging that we do. So.
All right, Phil. Well, thank you for your time today.
All right, Brent, you take care.
Wow, that's a moving statement. And I love talking to our customers like Phil at Root Tree. I wish we could do it more in person now, but in today's business climate of COVID, the virtual interviews will have to do. One day we'll be back to in-person discussions and I can learn more about their business and bring that to you. We're in front of the HP Indigo 25K, the next generation platform for mid-web flexible packaging. This is built on the foundation of the HP Indigo 20000 with over 250 presses installed worldwide that our customers are using to create new business opportunities in on-demand flexible packaging. We've revised a lot of things in this press. It's part of the reason it's got a new look to it. We've addressed color management with a new feature called Spot Master. We've improved workflow automation, and we've improved the sustainability of the press, driving waste savings. All these things will appeal to brands, converters, and creatives alike with what they can do with this powerful tool. You're going to learn more about this from my colleague Patrick Watkins in just a few minutes, but follow me as we talk more about the digital pouching factory that we're installing as we speak in the GEC. So as brands and converters and creatives, you understand that it's not enough just to print. With flexible packaging, you often have many other processes you have to incorporate to make a saleable product. Things like lamination, varnishing, slitting, and likely pouching are going to be things you want to do to drive a sellable product to your customers and bring the most value to them in speed to market and sustainability. So we're walking to the Pack Ready Laminator, which is an ideal solution for HP Indigo Digital Pouch Factory. Why? Well, it's got world-class metrics in setup time. It's got sustainability stories that tie to it. It is really the best solution for short-run flexible packaging. It uses no adhesives, as you heard from Phil talking about it in his video. This product uses thermal active films, and those allow us to make instantaneous bonds with no cure time, very little setup, no cleanup of adhesives. It is an operator's dream to run this machine. You put material on it, you run it, it bonds, it's good to go to the next step instantaneously. It's really the key value prop of this, driving sustainability, speed to market. It's perfect tie for HP Indigo digital printing. We invented this solution back in 2017, and we've got many customers using it today as a really versatile way to enter a turnkey market in the most efficient way possible. From here, the material is ready to go to pouching or slitting. We're installing the slitter as we speak, and soon we'll be able to demonstrate that for you as well. But we've got the pouch machine put in place over here. It's not running yet. As I said, all this is work in progress, and in as little as a week, we're going to be making pouches on this machine. This machine will be able to produce sustainable pouches, such as this all PE solution that has recyclable store drop-offs today. It will be able to produce conventional stand-up pouches that are PET, PE. A wide range of materials will run on this machine and a wide range of sizes. The most exciting thing is we're not standing still. We've already got plans to upgrade this machine in March. We're going to add a secondary unwind, which will allow us to do inserted gussets on pouches. It'll allow us to take narrow web material, 13-inch material, off our labels platform and make pouches out of it. We're really servicing the flexible packaging market, looking to our customers to create new opportunities, whether it's with the HP Indigo 25K or the 6K. All our web-based presses will be able to participate in the Digital Pouch Factory and bring value to the customers. I'm Brent Holloway here in the Digital Pouch Factory, under construction. It's an exciting time. We are reinventing flexible packaging one machine at a time. Can't wait for you to schedule a demo and talk end to end with our solutions architects. I'm going to turn it over to Patrick so he can tell you a little bit more about the HP Indigo 25K.
Hey, thanks, Brent. My name is Patrick Watkins, and I work here at the Graphics Experience Center in Alpharetta, Georgia. And I'm standing in front of the HP Indigo 25K. And just behind me is what we call our primer unwinder. This is where we do the priming of the substrate just before we print on it. And that primer is the foundation of our print process. Our ink adheres to that primer, so it's very, very crucial that we get that just right. And that primer is what allows us to be so versatile with the different types of substrates that we're able to print on the 25K, which ranges from 12 micron unsupported film all the way up to 16-point tag stock or light folding carton, and really anything in between that also includes a wide range of different types of pressure sensitive substrates for pressure sensitive labels, shrink films like PVCs and PETGs for the shrink labels, unsupported are monofilms like polyethylenes for goodie bags, and more importantly, really for the flexible packaging market is where the 25K has really found its niche. And then once we have the material primed, it leaves the primer unwinder and goes to the print engine, and that's where we'll go next. Okay, here we are in front of the print engine, and this is what we call liquid electrophotography or a digital offset foundation. This digital offset foundation has been around since 1994, a little over 26, almost 27 years. HP Indigo has been refining this process. We have over 7,000 installs of this digital offset foundation, and where we are today with this what we call Series 4 and the 25K press, we have over 250 installs worldwide. We have a little over a dozen customers that have multiple 25Ks, which really speaks volumes in this industry when you can talk about such a large install base and customers that keep coming back and have multiple presses. And they don't just keep coming back for the press itself, it's the service and support and the resources that HP is able to surround around our printing process to help our customers, which includes PrintOS, our world-class service and training department. And we also have guys like me out in the field called field SAs, which are really invaluable. They work closely with our sales team and closely with the customer and the service department, kind of like a liaison between all of those to make sure everything goes smoothly during installs, and also make sure if there's any problems that arise, that field SA can help and work with the service department and the customer to make sure that those service issues get resolved. So this is a 7-color, 7-station printing press. The way we differ from conventional printing, a 7-color conventional press running a 7-color job would need 7 printing plates and 7 blankets if it was an offset press. But we only use 1 printing plate and 1 blanket. And the way that process works is we'll write a separation, let's say a cyan separation on the printing plate. We transfer that image and that developed image with ink to the blanket. Then we'll scrub everything off that printing plate, and that's how we reuse that 1 printing plate. We'll scrub that image off of that printing, because we've already transferred the ink to the blanket. Now we scrub that image off of that printing plate. We rewrite the next separation, which in this case we're running 5 colors. Develop that separation with ink, transfer it to the blanket until we get all 5 colors transferred to the blanket. Then and only then do we introduce the substrate and transfer that ink from the blanket to the substrate, and we call that one-shot technology. So we stack all 5 colors onto the blanket at once, and then we transfer all of those colors onto the substrate in what we call that one-shot technology. And this is why this technology, LEP technology, is so popular, is that we truly are perfect registration. And it's because of that one-shot technology that really helps us achieve that perfect registration. So once we leave the print engine, then we go to the rewind inspection, and then that's where we'll head next. So here we are at the rewind inspection table. And before we talk about this, we'll talk about what's going on as the material's leaving the print engine. We have a feature called the inline drying system. And what that does is that gives one last bit of flash drying of our inks before we wind that material onto a roll. And because of that inline drying system and the way our inks are made up, that allows us to be FDA approved and Nestle and Swiss compliant for non-contact food packaging. We also have a feature, just as the material leaves the print engine, we have an inline spectrophotometer. We made a lot of advancements on that inline spectrophotometer, where we used to use it just to kind of baseline our press, get it back to a known state for that repeatability of color and quality. But HP's taken it a step further, where now we can take some additional measurements and allows us to do color refinement on press of spot colors. This job we're printing today has a couple of different spot colors in it, so we would refine those colors to the best of the Delta E we can. And then once we get those colors fully refined, once we start printing the job, we'll print color bars along the side of the web. Then we have another feature called continuous color calibration that will measure those color bars using that inline spectrophotometer, and that makes sure copy number 1 looks identical to the last copy of the run during those long runs. So we get that color quality, but just as important, we get that consistency from the beginning of the job to the end of the job. And using PrintOS and Brand Beat, we can now capture that data, and then our customers can share that data of that color consistency throughout the run with their customers. What we're printing today is a 48 gauge polyester. This is reverse printed, so this will be laminated downstream to probably a metallized polyester with a polyethylene sealant layer, where it'll ultimately be finished into a candy wrapper. And then that does it for me. Thank you for your time today. And now I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Glenn Adams, who's going to talk a little bit about folding carton.
Hey everybody, and welcome. My name is Glenn Adams. I'm the category manager for folding carton at HP Inc. I was asked to present to you a couple case studies. I was looking for a video that might speak to the brands, might speak to the print service providers. You're both on the call, so you're both my audience today. And quite honestly, it's pretty normal. The messages usually are a little bit different for each one. So I looked for a couple case studies that I thought spoke to both. And let me just say, I'm going to have my good friend Bill DeAngelis, one of our business development people, present these to you very quickly. So part of it's about SKU proliferation, right? Lots of SKUs, more and more. We just keep seeing that it's just going. Web to print is a part of that. And I think that one of the key takeaways for me that I hope you see out of this is that, web to print, SKU proliferation is really a strategy of analog and digital together. And web to print does not necessarily mean digital only. It means that jobs are in and set up and they go to the device they need to. And if that's analog, it's analog. If it's digital, it's digital. So a print service provider that offers both is set up perfectly to say, hey, the big jobs go here, the small jobs go here. Hey, that small job that yesterday was small now grew into a big job. Now it goes analog. So it's a great traffic cop for it. With that, Bill's going to present to you Champion Labs, and you're going to know they're from Fram and STP filter boxes, and then another brand, N&D, and it's Picasso UV gel, right? So colors. I think both of these really speak to this. And with that said, introduce you to Bill DeAngelis. He's going to get through pretty quick. So I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Have a great day.
Fram is one of those, right? So if you take a look at the challenge, the strategy, and the results below, what you find is there were a number of SKUs, again, heavy SKU proliferation. Just take a look, 2,500 SKUs just in their air filter product alone. Anytime you get to a standardized product, you at least have the opportunity to talk with the customer about providing those standardized SKUs into a portal that, again, how do you attack the $7 in associated cost? How do you make it easier for them to order from you? Portals become that. Standardized SKUs become that. And you can see the results. So a huge savings, not only in obsolescence, but ease of ordering, inventory management. These are conversations that you understand from commercial print that can transfer over into the folding carton space. Another area where this is within, we talked about some of these areas, not nutraceuticals, but beauty and health. Again, when you end up getting a number of variations that still use the same basic design, you've got SKU proliferation. You've got the ability to standardize these products and allow marketers to add different messaging, add versioning into the mix, and still be able to obtain efficient packaging costs, right? So again, this is another area where multiple SKUs, which leads very, very well to that level 2 or web-enabled print on demand.
In front of the press, the first thing we notice here is we have a pallet feeder. In the packaging side of the business, you know, we need to run from a pallet, so this only makes sense for us. Half-size sheet, 29.5 by 20.8, 50-pound text, all the way up through a 24-point board, SBS, CC&B, all the things you're used to running today, right? So if we look at it today and look at some of these medias, right? A nice CC&B for you, nice SBS. We go to a craft. Craft is absolutely, in my opinion, it's exceptional with it, especially due to the white that we have on the press. Then we go into a black media to give you an example. And again, amazing quality off of this. What you'll notice with the press is it has that ability to do 1 source, 2 source, 3 source. So in the middle of running a production run, I load up the Met Poly, the foil board, and I can do a proof right there in the middle. You'll also have noticed with the samples that I showed real quick, color is critical to our customers. We know that from your side, so we know we have to hit them. So let's take a look. We're going to go into the engine real quick, just for a quick second, and then we'll move to the next step. So for those of you guys who haven't seen our press before, everybody looks at digital and says, okay, what is a digital press today? A lot of people say 4-color device is this, that, and another thing. Well, with the HP digital press, the 12,000 specifically, it is a 7-color digital press. So what does that mean for you? CMYK, which is a given. You want to run to G7? No problem. Now, what happens when you want to hit those Pantone colors? Well, we run an expanded gamut. Orange, violet, and green added help us achieve approximately 92+% of the Pantone library on a nice SBS. Pretty amazing for us because we know that 4-color just doesn't cut it. So this is really a requirement for our customers. The other option that we have for customers today is to run a white ink. Whether it's 1 hit, 2 hits, or more, easily something that you can do from the operator side. It's just a click of a button. Let's run over to the back of the press and I can show you some of the samples we have and talk a little bit about color. What I wanted to do was just give you a little bit of a view of all the things that we do. Met Poly, real high-end products, right? This product here actually has a security feature. If I put a black light on it, we can run a UV yellow. That way you can use the black light from a security feature, whether it's black market and gray market. We know these things are very important to our customers today, but you can see the variety of product that we can run and quality, right? Quality, can't run this without the quality that's needed. So very important for our brands. Now, when it comes to color, I also think it's very important to point out that our customers run to standards today. Most of them are running to like Grackle, G7 for their process. That is a click of a button on the 12,000 digital press today. So click it, color adjust, tell it you want to run to or to G7, it's done. Not even having to have an ID Alliance person come in to deal with it. This is actually sent off through the web and given your approval digitally. When brands come to us digitally and start to think about campaigns, the first thing that they want to talk about is my brand safe on digital? And what I mean by that is, can you hit the 4-color quality and can you hit the Pantones? It is the first step we do all the time. So I think what you should know is we've had 7 years in folding carton in the packaging space, about 100 presses installed worldwide. We're hitting that and exceeding those targets. When a designer and a brand asks for Pantone 151, they want it. They won't want the 4-color comparison. They want the match. So what you can see in the below sample is this is what happens when you take advantage of HP's expanded gamut. So look at the orange, amazing. The Pantone Blue 072, the 354. These are colors that without expanded gamut, you just can't do. And this is why I tell you from a brand standpoint and a print service provider, this is why we are the go-to press in the digital market. What's important to know about white ink with us is, first, it's a digital press that offers white. Generally speaking, you don't see that on all devices. Not only do we offer a white, we offer a premium white. We allow you to put 1 hit, 2 hit, 3, and 4. So depending what the effect you're looking for is amazing. And the last one to show you is, what if you're a brand and you'd like to run an actual spot color on our press? We are one of the digital presses out there, like one of the only, that say, hey, we'll mix a color for you. So there is an example of Pantone 293 mixed. So let's go back to the front of the press and let's kind of wrap up real quick. So today, really quickly went through the HP Indigo 12,000 digital press, 6-point to 24-point, right? SBS, CCMB, craft, all kinds of different medias for the packaging business. But this is not the only press that we offer in the space. We also offer the HP Indigo 7K, a 13x19, kind of more of an entry-level prototyping type machine. And then we also offer the HP Indigo 35K. This press is strictly all-in folding carton. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. We come in, we talk to you, we see what your needs are, and we kind of direct you to the right press in the portfolio. I hope you enjoyed the conversation and hope you enjoyed the rest of your tour.
HP Indigo pioneered the digital label print industry, and we've been leading it ever since. That's because both brands and label converters really appreciate 3 key things about the HP Indigo digital presses. Number 1, their quality. Top print quality across the range. Number 2, the versatility. This is the most versatile digital label press on the market. And number 3, the customer experience. When you buy an HP Indigo press, you're partnering with HP, and there's a lot of really great people behind you to support you to make your business great. Hi, I'm Brian Cleary. I'm the HP Indigo Category Manager for Label Solutions here in North America. The HP Indigo digital press range goes from the HP Indigo 6K, which you see here, 13-inch web press capable of printing up to 7 colors, highly versatile press that can print almost any application. Then we have the HP Indigo 8K, again a 13-inch wide web press, but it prints at twice the speed of the 6K. It's a specialized press for special applications, but if you need to do those mid to long runs on a digital press, the 8K is your answer. And finally, some converters use the HP Indigo 25K, that's a 30-inch wide web press, to print labels, whether it be larger shrink sleeve labels or larger format pressure sensitive labels or just regular labels. It's a great platform. That's our range. Now let's talk about the reason they lead the market. Number 1, let's talk about quality. HP Indigo uses a unique imaging technology called electrophotography, specifically liquid electrophotography. We use a liquid ink and it's in constant contact. We have a plate and a blanket, like offset printing, but it's digital. The ink is in constant contact from the plate to the blanket to the substrate. It's never projected through the air towards the substrate, which means our register from color to color is perfect. It's the kind of quality that brands want on their product, and oftentimes they demand that their label converters use the Indigo digital press, regardless of the run length. Converters like the quality and the HP Indigo format because they don't have to decide whether they want speed or quality. HP Indigo digital presses deliver top quality at top speed all the time. Now let's talk about versatility. This HP Indigo 6K is a really versatile press. It can print anything from half-mil film up to 18-point board and pretty much everything in between. That means on the same press you can print flexible packaging, pressure-sensitive labels, shrink sleeve labels, in-mold labels, folding cartons, even plain paper for glue-applied labels. Really, if a customer asks you, can you do, the answer is yes on an HP Indigo 6K. Now let's talk a little bit about the customer experience. Like I said, when you buy an HP Indigo press, we don't just drop it off and leave you to it. We're partnered with you. We want you to be successful. We want you to print as much as you possibly can on this press. And to do that, we have a huge and fantastic team of people dedicated to bringing you new solutions, new ways to let you do more, new inks, new substrate capabilities, really all the time developing our platform and moving it forward, all while helping you, the customer. Now, what makes this experience great? Well, A, the people that you work with at HP Indigo, but innovations like predictive press care. Predictive press care monitors the statistics, the data coming off of your press, and uses smart learning AI software to detect when a part is about to break, then notify you so you can schedule a service technician to come replace that part at your convenience. Now that's the type of innovation that we're bringing to make the customer experience world-class. So I hope you learned a lot about HP Indigo digital presses specifically for the label market. If you'd like to see some samples or learn more, please contact your HP Indigo representative or use the forums here to contact HP. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Michael Cox, a solutions architect here at the HP America's Graphic Experience Center in Alpharetta, Georgia. And today I'm standing in front of the HP Indigo 6K digital press. This is the leading narrow web digital press because of the versatility and quality that it provides. This press can print on substrates as thin as a 1/2 mil all the way up to 18 point. This is going to get you into flexible packaging applications, shrink sleeve, in-mold label, pressure sensitive, folding carton, and really anything in between. And one key enabling piece of technology is the inline primer. This inline primer will apply a water-based primer to any off-the-shelf substrate, promoting the best print quality because it has been chemically designed to work with our liquid electrophotography inks. Next, we're going to move over to the print engine and talk about our inks and our print technology. Here we are at the ink cabinet of the HP Indigo 6K. This 7-station press is currently configured with white, cyan, magenta, yellow, black, violet, and orange. But I'm not restricted to just this configuration. For example, if I wanted to take out the violet and put in a UV yellow or an infrared ink for security applications, I have the ability to do that. Or I could substitute in a very specific brand color. Or I can put in a fluorescent ink for high design applications. And in fact, with combinations of inks, these 7 stations allow me to print up to 97% of the Pantone library. Now the ink in the cans is mixed with a carrier liquid down in those tanks and then carried up to the print engine where the rest of the process happens. Once I open the hood, you can see the magic of the liquid electrophotography HP Indigo print process, where a laser array writes an image to a charged photo imaging plate, where the ink is then attracted from these binary ink developers, transferred in direct contact to the image transfer blanket, and then transferred in one shot to the substrate. Now this one-shot printing process allows us to build up all of the separations onto the blanket and then transfer them to the substrate once the image is complete. This allows us perfect registration frame after frame after frame. Now the accuracy in the one-shot allows us to do certain things like moving from surface print to reverse print back to surface print without having to reconfigure the printing process. Now from here, we're going to move over to the rewinder where we'll continue talking about the color control systems on the press. Here we are at the rewinder of the 6K. And I'm going to open the door so that you can see the exit of the print engine and look at my favorite piece of technology on the press. And that is the inline spectrophotometer. Now being a color guy, this inline spectrophotometer performs a number of functions for me. It allows me to baseline the press back to a known starting point, allows me to continuously measure the color so that I maintain a high quality, accurate, consistent color throughout the length of the run. Now once we leave the print engine, down here I have what's called automatic alert agent. And this automatic alert agent is monitoring the web for me and looking for any possible print defects so they don't end up in my print job. Now from here, we go through the rest of the rewinder. I have an inspection deck and down to the rewinder spindle. Now, if you would like more information on the HP Indigo 6K digital press, or if you would like to schedule a personalized demonstration, please contact your HP Indigo representative or fill out the contact information provided. Thank you.
Great demo. I absolutely loved it. Team, it was wonderful to host you here today at the GC. If there's anything that we can do to help your business continue to thrive, we would love to support you. Just reach out to myself or any of the HP reps and we'll be right there with you. With that, I'd like to wish you a very safe and healthy stay. I'm really looking forward to see you here in the near future, and I wish you a wonderful rest of the event. Thank you again, and bye-bye.
Welcome back. Thank you again to our host, HP Indigo, this morning. I have to tell you, I was in that facility last February, just a year ago, and as good as the video was, if you're a potential buyer of digital technology or user of its capabilities, you must see it in person. It's very impressive indeed. Doris is always a great storyteller, and how about that Her She campaign, folks? I absolutely love it. Her She take that concept global. It's a winner. I'm now proud to share and recognize our next group of impressive 2021 PAC Award nominees and winners. Since 1952, PAC Awards have been celebrating the craft of package brand design and innovation. So let's continue with the awards presentations. This year, our entries were sold in 41 countries, and our winners are located in 5 continents and 9 countries, including Australia, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, France, Singapore, Switzerland, the UK, and the US. We've truly gone global. And thank you to our 79 dedicated judges from 12 countries who scored them. You'll see the results of your hard work today. And thank you to the PAC Awards Executive Committee, who keeps me on track and provides guidance for the awards and this important summit. Our awards featured 2 key categories: brand marketing, which has 8 subcategories, and package innovation with 3 subcategories. We think this is where we differentiate ourselves from other packaging competitions. Within each subcategory, best-in-class winners are selected. And then our final 2 best of show winners are selected, 1 in brand marketing and 1 in package innovation. Each winner will receive their uniquely crafted award. And this year, to accommodate the rapid growth in international popularity and to highlight the exceptional quality of entries, a new award level was added. It's called the Award of Distinction. Winners will be receiving a bespoke certificate. Yesterday, we awarded the winners in the new brand and limited categories, and today we will be celebrating the winners in the brand marketing, revitalized brand, and premium luxury categories. And now for our first category, revitalized brand beverage. The nominees are and the Award of Distinction goes to Essence by Pigeon Brands. Well done, Pigeon. And the envelope, please. For Revitalized Brand Beverage, the winner goes to Yao by Design Bridge, Singapore. Overall, a very bold design solution. It communicates exceptional brand emotion. Congratulations, well done.
Howdy folks, little gang here from Design Bridge Singapore, sitting at our favourite craft bar, Druggists. Absolutely thrilled to pick up an award for Yao. It's a hell of a lot of fun, a crazy little beer, radical personality, the heart and soul of Hong Kong.
We Hong Kongers, we are super proud of our language, Cantonese, and Yao means friendship in Cantonese, crafted in Hong Kong.
Cheers. Big shout out to our friends at Brain Rental
and Whitehorn for their awesome collaboration for Hong Kong Yao.
Thanks once again, Pack Awards, for your continuous recognition of the work we now Design Bridge Asia. Have a great event, and we'll see you next year.
Next, we have revitalized brand food, and the nominees are and here we had 4 entries winning the award of distinction. Congratulations go to Godiva Truffles Collection by Godiva, Mimi by Mastronardi Produce, Blue Dragon by Bridgemark, and last but not least, Panache by Elmwood, New York. And the envelope, please, for Best in Class. And the winner is Hand Fuel by Vins Plastics. The effective use of simple but crisp graphics, complemented with the right substrate choice, emphasized proper values and emotions that correctly represented the brand. The new design focused on establishing that emotional connection through design and aesthetic. Well done, Hand Fuel.
Hey, my name's Cole Richmond. I'm the founder of Hand Fuel. First off, just want to thank you guys for presenting us with the award. It's, such an honor to be considered for something like this. I couldn't have done this alone. I'm happy to have a great team here at Hand Fuel and have the support of Vins Plastics and Make Branding. I can't speak highly enough about the principal at Make, Michelle Luck, and all she's done for us. Can't wait to see what the future has in store for Hand Fuel, and thank you guys so much.
Hi everyone, I'm Justin Vins. I'm Sachin Vins, and we would like to thank the PAC Association for this year's virtual event and hope that everyone's staying safe. At Vins Plastics, we get to work with such great designers and amazing brands.
We are committed to raising the bar in flexible packaging technologies and sustainability, and are really excited to see where this brand redesign takes Hand Fuel.
And we had a tie for Best in Class. The envelope, please. Frank Snack Food Products, entered by Jump Branding and Design. This brand has gone viral. Witty copywriting that everyone loves. Well done, Jump, Canadian Tire, and the entire team. Congratulations.
It's a great honor to receive this award. Unfortunately, Frank could not be here himself, but on behalf of his whole team at Canadian Tire, we wanted to say thank you. Frank has always been about delivering simply good stuff, products that do their job well at a great price. But Frank has also been about bringing some fun and cheekiness to products, adding a much needed smile or chuckle to the equation. And for recognizing the importance of delivering both value and a smile in today's world.
2 awards of distinction go to KY, submitted by Design Bridge New York, and Woods, entered by Davis. And the envelope for Best in Class winner, please. Soapsmith by Bulletproof Design. Great evolution. The creative team seems to have successfully delivered a strong design that is capable of making its presence known on shelf. The most interesting part is the individuality of each label that is only enhanced by the consistency within the line look. The updated brand clearly reflects the creative team's vision and the bigger picture that is translated into each label that offers a design language needed to trigger a balanced disruption. Great job, Bulletproof. Congratulations.
Yay!
Oh, thank you so much, Pac. This is such a brilliant award for Bulletproof, and it was amazing working with Sam at Soapsmith. It's a beautiful brand, and we can't wait to see what it does in the future. Thanks so much.
And now for our last set of awards to be announced today in the Premium Luxury category. And the nominees are we're pleased to recognize the award of distinction going to Fortnum and Mason by Design Bridge London. And the winner of Best in Class goes to Tanaka 1789 X Chartier Force Majeure Design. A distinctive bottle with defined brand cues, disruptive semiotics with conviction behind a deliberate and purposeful intent, leads to amazing results. Great packaging tells a story even without words. Tanaka has merged nostalgia with the future present. The collectability points are good. Sustainable packaging is collectible. Well done, Force Majeure.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for this honor. It was incredibly exciting to bring to life such an unexpected collaboration between François Chartier and Tanaka.
Our challenge was to successfully bring to life two worlds in one beautiful design, the richness of the universe of François Chartier with the heritage of the Tanaka Brewery.
Throughout the project, one of our strongest assets was the diversity of cultures within our own team.
This allowed us to root the design in authenticity with a deep understanding of the tradition of the brand.
The project was also run in a very collaborative way, working closely with both Francois and the Tanaka team throughout the design process.
A strong commitment from the full team reflects in the project's outcome. This design celebrates the sensibility of Western wine culture with premium Japanese sake cues in an elegant way. Kanpai!
Santé!
Santé!
Cheers!
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 And we have a tie for Best in Class. Envelope, please. Chien Bleu by Chien Bleu Winery. Uniqueness is relative, but when contextualized into specifics by observing design in a market category, uniqueness becomes evident. It's not very often in any packaging space that we are offered the pleasure of seeing traditional artistic sensibilities harmonize with design. From concept, collaboration, and execution, a well thought out, sustainable human experience, collectible. Brilliant work, Chien Bleu. Congratulations.
Merci beaucoup to the great PAC judges for rewarding small brands with big dreams. What a hard year for little guys. It's a real honor to be with these nominees. So much diversity of thought. When my family unearthed this medieval hidden gem that's now Chien Bleu, it took years to get its heart to beat again and produce world-class wines. We're thrilled to get glowing reviews from wine geeks and critics, but our next challenge is to bring our small winery to a wider audience. It took a long time and a global village to raise the books. But it's really thanks to the exceptional talent and dedication of our designer and paper engineer Claire Middleton, who wrestled with every detail and production challenge. Huge thanks also to Jane Ranfield, Evelyn Kwok, Ivan Wong, Kirch Weiss, Laura Iverson, as well as my darling husband Xavier, family and team for putting up with my obsession. We raise a glass of Chien Bleu to all you creatives who are passionate about beauty, quality, and purpose.
Well, congratulations again to all of our winners. Amazing. These were exceptional submissions. You should be very, very proud. As I mentioned in my opening address, we are asking you to partner with PAC in our efforts to build a more inclusive and just world. Following this summit, we will bring together a group of leaders as a promise to not just say, but do. Join us, please. See you tomorrow for another exciting morning of dynamic speakers that are reinventing packaging for the quick service restaurant industry, including Matt Banton of Burger King, Paul Yang of Tim Hortons, Tom Sacchi of TerraCycle Loop. Tomorrow, we will conclude the summit and our 2021 Global Leadership Award winners by presenting the Package Innovation category and the 2 Best of Show winners. It's a big day for us. Until tomorrow,